Hi guys, today I'm sharing a few of my thrifting tips. I have a little bit of a different take than most when it comes to thrifting, so I want to jump into my first tip, which is to shop by texture rather than just browsing. When I shop by texture, I tend to do a little bit better at the thrift store because I'm not focused on all of the other items and colors, and so it really helps me to avoid that feeling of being overwhelmed and not knowing where to start. And so I'm just kind of showing you what I mean by shopping by texture, looking at baskets, woven features, just items that can bring in that warm, cozy, textural feel. Baskets are great because they're good for storage as well, but whenever I'm on the lookout for items that are textural, I do tend to overlook other items in store, and so that really does help me to kind of stay on track and not get overwhelmed. Now I know this one is not a textural element, but every time I see this clip, I am so regretful that I did not pick up this adorable rolling storage cart. This would be great for crafts or even in the kitchen for spices and dry goods. So my second tip is pick it up when you see it. So my next tip is to thrift by function. Make a list of items that you need. For example, I'm showcasing some candles here because I always love to add seasonal scents to my home, and thrifting is a great way to find brand new candles at a fraction of the price. And so if there are items on your I need it list, make sure you hit up the thrift store first. I definitely don't need this Honey Nut Cheerios candle, but I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was such a fun and funny little candle for a kid's room. The next tip is to thrift early and often. You'll need to get to the thrift store early if you want to find the best deals. Oftentimes, there are vendors who hit up the thrift stores early in the morning to find items that they can resell. So be early and go often. My next tip, if you're feeling overwhelmed in the thrift store, is to thrift by color. Sometimes when you zone in on just one specific color, it makes the aisles not seem so overwhelming, and you can glance by everything and sort of tune your mind in to those beautiful colors that you want to decorate with. And lastly, I encourage you to try to thrift by room. If you know you need dishes, head over to the kitchen section. If you know you need textiles, then you're gonna wanna go over to the quilts and pillowcases. Thrift by the room in which you need items for, and you will feel a lot less overwhelmed when you're shopping. And because items are so low priced at the thrift store, you can shop the items that you need by season. How adorable would these yellow floral glasses be for the spring season? Okay guys, we are back from thrifting, and I wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into how I style a lot of the thrifted items that I find. Recently, I had asked if you guys were interested in getting some thrifting tips, and so everybody seemed like they were on board with that. So I just wanted to take you through some of these items and then kind of show you how I have them styled in my home. So the first one I want to share with you is this little vase. Now, when I picked this up at Goodwill, it was $3.98, and I have had this one for quite a while, but I wanted to share it with you because recently I showed you that I picked this one up also at Goodwill for $2.98. And I thought they were paired perfectly together for my little stool that's beside my china cabinet. So I've got it styled there, and I think it just brings a little bit of visual interest to that space where there's not really enough room for another piece of furniture. Large art wouldn't fit on the wall, and so I just needed something to kind of brighten up that space and make it feel a little bit more alive. The texturing on this vase is gorgeous, and I thought it was really beautiful. But here's the thing, it didn't look like this when I picked it up in store. It actually had a tall, round, sort of 90s looking topiary fake plant in it, and I really didn't like that. I really just bought it because I liked the vessel that the plant was in. So when I got it home, I just took the topiary out, and now I have this beautiful vase for $3. Now, another item that I had shared with you recently was a handbag that I picked up at Goodwill recently, and I thought it was so cute for the summer season. I ended up placing some florals in it that I already had, and I thought this was a really nice way to bridge the gap from spring into summer. This to me reads very summer. I love that sort of seagrass weaving, and I wanted to bring in some of these natural neutral greens and a couple of pops of white, and I've got this styled on my barn door. We're going to be doing a little project on that barn door because I don't love being able to see into my laundry room, but for now this is substantial and large enough that it sort of blocks the view into the laundry room, and it gives me a lot of texture and interest, and also a little bit of natural earthy elements. I've got so many good items I want to share with you, but recently I shared with you a really pretty frame that I picked up at Goodwill. I actually used this in my Valentine's decorating, but I never mentioned to you that you can find beautiful frames at Goodwill for $1.98, for $2.98. I mean, this one I believe was originally probably TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods, but I loved this sort of curved shape. I thought it had a lot of interest, and I loved the gold on it. In fact, the gold is something that I want to use a little bit more for the spring and summer this year. And so the next item I wanted to share with you is something that you guys have seen in a recent thrift haul. You saw me pick this one up. But you guys, I finally did my DIY on it, and it turned out beautifully. I absolutely love it. If you didn't see that video, I had mentioned that a couple of the YouTubers that I really like to watch had purchased the large bowl like this from Target. It's from maybe the Threshold line this year. I think it runs at $25, and it's quite a bit bigger, and it looks just like this as far as the coloring, but both of the ladies that I watched said that it was very flimsy. And so I saw a tortilla bowl making pan in Goodwill, and I picked it up. I showed it to you in a recent thrift haul, and here is the final product. I love the way it turned out, but I'll show you the side that is really pretty. And I also wanted to share with you how I styled it. This is actually one of my favorite DIYs that I've done, and I ended up picking this thing up for $2.98 at Goodwill, and then the paint I already had. So rather than spend $25 at Target, I have a little bit of a Target inspired look for a fraction of the cost. Now, something I'm always looking for at Goodwill especially is marble. Travertine, marble, any sort of natural stone like that is going to be timeless. And I have a few items like that I've picked up that I really do enjoy using. And so when I came across this little marble mortar and pestle at Goodwill, I think it was $2.98. I've already taken the tags off, but I will insert a few clips before I did that. This one is cute. It's little. I don't have any black marble in my house, so I think this would be a great way to sort of bring in a little bit of depth to some of my white kitchen decor. And the fact that it's marble is something that I'm going to be able to use year after year, and for such a low price, I couldn't pass it up. So I've got this styled in my kitchen now, and I'm really enjoying how it looks. Something else I'm always trying to bring into my kitchen is warm woods. Woods that maybe look like they have been found or are old and damaged and distressed. I love the look of aged wood. So when I came across this trivet, I thought it was really pretty because it's got the greens that I am loving for this coming season. Green is actually my favorite color, and so when it's paired with brown and taupe like this, I think it's gorgeous. Love the coloring of the wood and the distressing, and I thought it was really cute because it does have legs on it, so it could be used as a trivet, as a riser, or you could even just lean this up against the wall and use it as wall art to sort of warm up a space behind a display that you've got on your countertop. So this is something that I feel like I'll be able to use year round because it's neutral enough, but also especially going into the summer, I like the idea of pairing it with my cookbook that I've shared with you in the past. I think that would be a gorgeous pairing. So another thing I've recently been drawn to is seagrass, especially that light color, almost like that coastal summer feel. I don't have much of that in my house, but in this haul, you see that I've got that handbag. And then when I came across this flat rectangular tray, I thought this would be beautiful to use in the kitchen. I got this at my local Jericho Road thrift store. I want to say it was $4.99, but I will insert a clip to show you the price. But right now I have this styled on my microwave with a piece of pottery that I actually picked up recently at an antique shop near me, some pretty white cosmos for the floral, and then this thrifted candle that I also picked up while I was thrifting at Jericho Road, actually on this same day. This one was brand new when I picked it up. I love the smell of it, but look at that opalescent coloring to it. Almost has that mother of pearl look. Beautiful for the summer, almost like a seashell. I guess I'm going a little bit coastal this year, guys. I didn't expect that, but that's what I'm kind of feeling from all of these items. But I love the way this looks paired together with my florals and this wicker tray. Now, something I want to show you though, in recent thrift haul, I showed you this glass one, and I had mentioned that I wanted to also style this for my summer decor. This would be great for spring with these tulips, so I just wanted to share that with you and kind of show you how I have this styled as well. The fun thing about this is that it can be used on this wicker tray also. These are all interchangeable items, right? So when you're looking at decor for your home, you want to try to find items that mesh well together. That way, when you change things around, it doesn't sort of jar the eye. Everything blends, everything's cohesive, and everything gives a nice, warm, welcoming feel. And so because I'm trying to accomplish that in my home this season with buying a little bit more neutral decor, year-round items that I can use everywhere in my home, when I saw this at Goodwill, I decided to grab this. This I think was originally a Hobby Lobby purchase. I grabbed it for $6.98. This thing has some weight to it. Now I haven't decided where I'm going to be styling this one yet, but I think it would be beautiful with some simple florals, maybe even these tulips behind me. I think that would look really great. So you can see with the tulips in it, I love the way this pop of green sort of is a contrast to this beautiful neutral. And then of course this sort of buttery yellowish white tulip color is a really great complement to the color of the vase. Something like this would be perfect behind a sofa, especially if you have like a narrow table, because it is so thin. And so it would be a perfect addition to a sofa table or maybe a small space in your home as well. The next few items don't really jive with this coastal thing that I am sort of realizing that I'm going with this year, but I think they were gorgeous and they were a great price. And when I saw them, I just couldn't pass them up. And sometimes items just speak to you. And so I came across a set of 4. These are made by the Ascot line by Wood and Sons, and they are made in England. The tag says that they were $4.98, but on the day that I picked these up, all of the blue tags were 50% off, so I got 2 of them for that price. I did find a set of 4, and 2 of them even had wall hangers on them, so I thought that was a great deal. I'm probably gonna end up styling these in my china cabinet. I love this green band on the inside. I think that's going to be really, really pretty with the color scheme that I'm going for. And just because it's not coastal, that's totally fine. It's a cottage look, and there is such a thing as coastal cottage, but there's also such a thing as having an eclectic look in your home. So if you really, really like it, just use it. Don't worry about whether or not it blends with what some designer says you have to use. If you like it, use it. Okay, we're quickly coming to the end of the haul. I've got 2 more items I wanted to share with you, and this is one of them. I've been on the lookout for one of these for quite some time. I saw this on the Meeker Home and DIY channel. Meg had one of these in her son's bedroom decor, and I thought that was so sweet. It is a ringing bell, and it was $4.98, but it's brass, it's heavy. I'm probably gonna remove those ribbons on it, but I just thought that was so cute. And not only would it be great for just shelf styling to bring in a little bit of warmth with this sort of warm metallic brass, but I think it would be great in a kid's room. So if you see items like this with a carousel horse or any sort of equestrian theme even, I think that would be a really great way to accent youthful bedrooms if you are trying to style a kid's room. For me, this is probably going to be shelf styling either on my microwave area. I've got some neutral shelves over there, or maybe even mantle styling, but this would be great for Christmas as well. So lots of different ways you can use little items like this. Now this last item I picked up with the intention of doing a DIY on it, although I do think it is pretty as is. This is a vase that I picked up at Goodwill. This giant planter was only $6.98. And although I do think it's gorgeous, the colors just don't fit my home. So I'm probably going to end up using a texture technique, using some of the wall compound or putty, whatever that you've probably seen those DIYs where people sort of create their own texture on it and then give it sort of like a speckled or kind of muted taupe color paint on top. But I thought this would be great because I have an olive tree that I have upstairs in my spare bedroom, and I've had it for years, but I have not been able to find the right sort of planter for it to make it look good. So it's just kind of been living up there in its original black plastic pot. And I think that once I get this DIY done, it would be really pretty to have this on the floor, maybe next to my mantle or over here next to my china cabinet, and have that olive tree placed inside just to give it a little bit more of a substantial feel. The base of that olive tree is really small. So the tree is really large on top, and then the base is like this big round, so it's always tumbling over. So I thought this might be a way for me to give it a little bit more of a decorative look and make it look a little bit more high-end, but doing it on a budget, which you guys know I love. So I have another item that's not really going to work, I don't think anyway, for the summer and spring season because it does have this really warm tone to it. But I picked up this recipe box at Goodwill, and this one was $2.98. The tag on the bottom says that it was made in Korea, and it does say that it's solid copper. This thing is pretty heavy, so I thought this was a really great deal. I actually have been on the lookout for a recipe box because I've got a book that I have all of my handwritten recipes in, and I would like to transfer them to index cards and be able to have them out on the counter. I thought this was a great item for $2.98 to bring in some warm metallics into my kitchen. I'm going to try to work this in for the summer, maybe transitioning into that early fall season. I think that would be really beautiful, but you never know what you're gonna find when you go thrifting, and that's why I love it so much. I can spend all day at the thrift store just sort of hunting and digging and finding treasures, and this is definitely one of them that's gonna stick with me for a very long time. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the items that I look for when I'm in store, and if you enjoyed seeing videos like this where I share with you my items, but then I also kind of show you how I styled them, leave me a comment below because I really enjoyed putting this video together and getting creative with all of the different pieces that I thrifted, and I would love to do more of these. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.